Hey friends, Jay, Travel by Jay.
We're in departures.
We in departures.
We're not in between.
Not in between. So the past week, we've been in Japan. And you know what? We experienced some amazing things. It's just been a wonderful trip. We've had some amazing sushi. We've done samurai training. For those who've been following us and watching our videos, I'm quite sure you saw some cool things. I've had some comments.
Sure, let's call that.
Hey,
Let's call it that.
It's been some fun stuff.
It has been absolutely mesmerizing. The Japanese culture is so beautiful.
You know, it's funny that, everybody always asks, hey, how's it going to feel? I know Soraya's asked me, hey, how's it going to feel going back? 30 plus odd years ago, I was here as a young man in the service in the U.S. Navy. I served here down in Yokosuka, Japan, which is about an hour and a half from here, where the base is. You have a different mindset. I was here at 17, 18, 19, 20, right? So I was here for 3 years. I saw and I did things very differently. Being here.
So you knew the bar scene then?
The bar scenes I knew very well, right? But I did get a chance to enjoy some of the culture being here, from the food. Gotten a chance to see the cherry blossoms and things like that, and it was great. I did.
Okay.
There's a great park that's down there by the base, which is amazing. But I would tell you, this trip for me. And we're going to show you some of the cherry blossoms. We're actually in Shinjuku Gion Garden, the natural park, which is over 1,000. It's over 1,000 trees or cherry blossoms here. It's like a central park, got a nice pond.
They're not all bloomed yet, but
so they're about 80%. I guess later and later with the climate change, they've been blossoming, blooming later and later. I know that
we thought we had planned it.
That's why we planned this to come instead of mid to the end and the beginning of April. But I do understand that DC's cherry blossoms are full in effect.
Bloom.
But here, I'll just show you guys really quick some of the beautiful trees here. I'll turn it slowly, because I know, again, this is our between departures. And even though
we're in departures,
so even though it is rainy, you see people with umbrellas, but it clears up. It kind of rains sporadically, but it's still beautiful.
For us Floridians, it's chilly. It's only like 61 degrees right now.
The air is fresh. I don't think it's cold. I think it's actually really pleasant. We have our long sleeves on, our little 3/4 zip. But I would tell you this, being here in Japan this time, the best way I can describe it is seeing a boy's world through a man's eye. Now I'm older, mature. I see things. My appreciation for beauty is a lot different. It's just been a great time and a great adventure here.
Yeah.
So
absolutely beautiful. We went on a tour of Mount Fuji, which I thought was going to be a little bit more like what we did in Mount Etna, because we were actually in the volcano, like near the volcano and all that stuff in Mount Etna. But here was a little bit different. We just kind of went all around the area. The little towns that were around Mount Fuji were absolutely gorgeous. We got to go to a shrine that is over 1,900 years old, and it was just absolutely beautiful.
The Shinjin Temple.
Yeah, you could really feel the holiness in that ground. So we left a couple of prayers there. And then we've just gone around the city. I will tell you, Japan is very much Tokyo is very much a bustling city with all kinds of things for everybody. There's culture, there's music, anime.
There's 30 million to 37 million people in the metro, so you can only imagine the amount of people that's here. Remember, they don't have land, so what they do is they build up and down. They build down maybe 2 or 3 floors, and then build up as high as they're allowed to do. So
of like a New York City. This is bigger than New York City in the sense that there's more people here.
A lot more people.
But it is so organized. Like everybody obeys, the traffic laws, the pedestrian laws, which is dumbfounding for me to see. I think I've seen 2 people jaywalk here, and they were not from here.
So yeah, the Japanese culture is very unique.
Everything.
I do remember it still being peaceful as the same. Being here before the 3 years, we never locked the doors. I never had to. It's just peaceful. The only crime, unfortunately, that was done by Americans or foreigners. But it's just a very respectful culture. Even now, as she was alluding to, where people walking, everybody walks on the walks in one path on the sidewalks. Remember here, it's opposite than in America, where we drive on the right side, so drive on the left side here.
Yeah.
So as you're walking on the sidewalks and everywhere, everybody walks on the left side. If they're passing you, they go on your right side. On escalators everywhere, if you're standing on the escalator, you stand on the left side, and people would walk up the right side. You allow that foot traffic to go.
I can't tell you how many times he's had to pull me aside
to
the left side.
It's great to see a respectful society and peaceful.
Clean.
On the trains, you don't hear people on the phone. They're not talking. They're yelling. They're sitting there. Everybody's on their phones, but they're being respectful.
Yeah. And if you hear us whispering, it's because we're actually in a park, but there's a bunch of people around us. I mean, kind of bunch of people around us. But again, it's that respect for everybody's space, like even in a park.
Yeah.
So we are whispering a little bit.
So there are there's no public trash cans like that. Everybody carries your trash with you. Very few receptacles around, but it's a very, very clean city. And again, people respect the rules.
Yeah.
Now it's funny because this is a smoking society, and people still smoke. You go in the restaurants, guess what? People are still smoking.
Yeah.
However,
about that.
They have smoking boxes or places that they now have that you're not allowed to smoke in public, but they have where you can go and you see people gathering there and smoking and whatever.
You will smell your own smoke.
So
nobody else has to deal with it, which, hey, to each its own.
Then they have the ventilation systems put in there. But again, they're changing it. It seems like they are environmentally sound or conscious rather.
Right. The jet lag has been a little interesting, although we have hydrated a lot.
She's more jet lag. I've been pretty good,
I know,
but I did get some
really
sleep.
Good. It always gets me. But I think by 8 o'clock, which is technically 6 o'clock in the morning Florida time, I'm done. I have to go to sleep or else. But again, everything has been just absolutely beautiful. I've not gone into a store that has had the security tags on there. Again, everything is in the honor system. Even when we went to Tokyo Disney yesterday, not one piece of merchandise was tagged, and everybody respected it. So I thought it was really great. I have to admit, I absolutely respect this culture. Is absolutely beautiful. There's something to be said for feeling secure. I haven't been worried about my purse. I haven't been worried about my pockets.
But what that lets you know is even in society still, there is good in the world still. There's trust in the world still. Those are the things.
Clearly, that's someone that's not from here. Because everybody's pretty quiet.
unfortunately. My dad's yelling at his two kids, but they are tourists. They're not Japanese. They're not from here. But now you can see it's getting a little lighter and brighter.
It is.
The sun's coming out, or kind of trying to peek through, or it's getting lighter. But we did want to, like I said, just do something different and just kind of different location. I know we've done some things like at Disney and a couple other places, but you know, while we're traveling, we want to do one from Japan, and I'm going to tell you, what better and beautiful place to do it than in this beautiful park with all the cherry blossoms. So this little episode is going to be a little different because, yeah, we're not going to usually do our half-hour gig, but one thing we are going to do is, you know, we're going to tag some of the video and photos and add them, you know, after our commentary, that you can kind of see where we're at.
We've been
and where we've been, especially here in this park. And it's just the energy here in this country,
It's beautiful.
and the people and the respect for other people. It's just been mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Especially today in time, we have trying times and a trying society. But I'm not going to say that this country or culture may not have its own issues or
I'm sure
whatever.
it does. But for the most part,
But
it's again, there's good and bad everywhere.
It's a society. It's a society. See,
So
see
they want to take. They want to see if if they can take our picture.
little kind lady.
So helpful.
It's just a point that I would love to have raised my kids here. Well, my daughter was young when we were here, and my grandkids haven't had a chance to visit here. But you know, this is a place that I would recommend people go.
Gotta experience it
to see how people live.
You
When
have
I was
to
here decades ago, they were a closed society. Culture-wise, if you saw foreigners, they were probably military or they were government contractors or somebody that was working here for a purpose. But now, it's great to see so many foreigners that are here to experience the culture and the Japanese, and I think it's generational too, that they're here and they're allowing other cultures to see them,
how the other half lives, and it's beautiful.
And like I said, it's so beautiful. It's just peaceful. And again, I'll go back to where it says respectable, because they honor I would say they honor the human mankind.
Yeah.
They're kind to everybody and courteous.
They are.
And that is something that we tend to miss in our society. But I will tell you, if you follow us and seen some of the amazing pictures and things that we've done since we've been here, it's been a fun-filled week. It's also been a busy week. I tell you like this, you gotta make sure that you have
My back has been feeling it.
you know, at the end of the night, you know, your feet are feeling it, so you got to have some great walking shoes.
Yes.
And we've invested in quite a few, and we found comfortable that we travel around the world with.
Yeah.
So that's one good thing that.
Yes. Bring your walking shoes. Bring
your
a
walking
nice backpack.
Yeah.
So, because again, it's just like in New York City, everybody lives with a backpack, and everything that you need is just back there.
Or cross bag for men or whatever.
It is.
Bring it all, and it's okay.
Yes. That's where you're gonna have your water bottle. That's where you're gonna have your umbrella. That's where you're gonna have that extra jacket. Everything. So yeah, I mean, it's been quite an experience, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And I can honestly tell you that this was 10 times better than I had ever imagined it. I know that I heard him talking about it and, you know, whatnot. And, you know, I thought he was a little biased because he lived here. But no, it really is just as beautiful as he painted.
Yeah, I definitely want to come back here again because, again, there's so much
I
to
want to
do.
get out of the city.
And see the changes or whatever. and we'll come through, and we'll slide through Tokyo, but yeah, we'll go to places like Osaka, Kyoto, and maybe go down south. I remember a place that I visited before. It was called Unzen, which is down by Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Unzen is actually known to have sulfur springs, hot sulfur springs.
Oh, nice.
So which is actually really cool being down there. So that is something that we want to go down and
There's also a
to see it.
place around here that's called the Bamboo Forest. It would be really beautiful to hear the wind go through those bamboos. So yeah, I mean, it'll be for another time. We leave tomorrow.
And we'll leave tomorrow. So today, I mean, thing about it is we've stayed busy, that we've packed in a few must-see things. We've done we did a ramen gyoza cooking class,
Delicious.
which was amazing. We've done the samurai training, which was actually really cool. I mean, it's good to bring bring us as a foreigner into that feeling, that culture, and then I want to say it's costumey, but you wore the garb, No, they didn't give us real swords, thank God, because somebody would probably cut their fingers off. But I'm glad that
I bopped him in the head with the
I would have been
sword.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to.
So again, I'm glad they did not provide real swords to us. I probably wouldn't be here talking to you, because I would probably be sitting somewhere with a big gash in the skull. But that's okay.
Stop it. You're exaggerating now.
Hey, but you did hit me, right? So
but I didn't mean to.
Again, yeah, accidents is never meant on purpose, but that's okay. But it's and the food has been here. I have enjoyed the food. You have to have an open palate.
You really do.
To experience other things.
You really do.
Americans like sweet. Here, things are not as sweet.
No, they're very umami.
But it is great. The saying how food should be tasting, Japanese food, how it should be tasting naturally, is great. And they don't cater to our taste, because they're worldwide. So we're coming here to experience them, and that's what the experience they open and give it to us.
I will tell you this: the sushi, amazing. As a matter of fact, I want to have sushi again today. Amazing, so fresh, so delicious. There isn't anything that I could possibly say. As far as like the rest of the Japanese food, for me, was again something that you have to keep an open mind. It is not what we have in the States. So definitely, when you come here, be open-minded. Try it all. Very seafoodish.
I miss the food, and I tell you, it is great to be here, to be back in this culture and to experience it. It was a great introduction to me, leaving home at 17 to come to this culture, because sometimes they just show you how to do it right. And again, I hear some people and listen to people here, and you can tell they're not from here, or people that just not being as respectful of the culture,
Again, you can't leave home and expect to have the same things that you have at home.
Right.
That's like the definition of insanity.
And I will always tell you this, and I've always told even my kids this: when you go out into the world, don't behave the way they expect you to. I mean, there are a lot of loud cultures, and not saying that it's not good to be jovial, because trust me, when they get into the restaurants and they get around their friends and they're eating and they're drinking and they're socializing, they're truly having a great time, because that environment is for them to do that. But when they're out and about, I'm going to say docile, but it's a very quiet place.
The Gen Zers are very much about group gathering.
Yeah,
I've noticed. They hang out in a group of friends, anywhere from 8 to 10. It's not very uncommon to see like 4 guys for 4 girls, or you know, a mixture of all of the above.
But culturally,
At a happy hour.
they've always done that. They've always done the cultural things where they have the gatherings, and you'll see where, you know, whether they're businessmen or co-workers or male friends or female friends, that's always been a culture thing here, to where they've gathered and do that.
Okay.
But they've had a chance to bring in some of the Western culture to where our music, our fashion sense, some of our trends, we've had the American culture have had an impact here, even from our music. And we're in a restaurant last night, and you know, be honest, they're playing Cardi B in a restaurant. You know what I mean? They're playing T.I., but it's in the background now. Whether they understand the lyrics or not, but it's the rhythm, it's the music. That's what's getting them going.
Yeah.
And that's what, you know, I say we have the influence, but they took it and they made it their own.
They did.
Their own fashion. It's so many things here that you can appreciate. And I will probably tell you, the older I get, the more I appreciate life.
Yeah.
And I appreciate people and where they're from. And just to understand the similarities.
Yeah.
I mean, just because we call water or H2O, you call it agua, and they call it mizu. I mean, but guess what? It's still water. It still has the same purpose, and that's what humanity is. That's what traveling is. We're all the
same at the end of the day.
And that's what traveling is about. And we get out there and we travel around the world to see the similarities. Not to exploit the differences, but find the similarities, find common ground, find what we have the same. I mean, because, you know, underneath, you know, our tongue, which is our language, underneath our skin tone or whatever characteristics we have, guess what? We're still the same people. We still have the same needs for food, for water, for air. It's just how we say it and how we approach things in life.
Companionship.
And you sing all of that. And it's good to see a society really embrace that. And they embrace it to bring people together and not separate people. They don't separate based on their differences. They enjoy and they embrace and they bring in the commonalities. So again, this is a place that you definitely need to put on your list.
I would definitely recommend it.
I put it like this: I will not wait another 30 plus years to come here anymore. So with that in mind,
little kids are out
I'm going to
here.
tell you, travel safe,
Travel often.
travel by day.
Bye.